What is up, everybody? The Bugle 6 issue number 16. We had a huge episode last week, a 10-man panel talking about Deadpool and Wolverine. Huge giveaway. So congratulations to these two for winning the big prizes. So no, it's not. I guess it is kind of a coincidence. So yeah, congratulations 1 out of 12 for winning the 1/10 scale Iron Studios Deadpool Wolverine statue, and to Geo the movie canon, for winning the Wolverine Collector's Edition hot toy. So
yeah, thank you. It was a great giveaway. I'm going to enjoy it quite a lot. So,
and thanks to Collector's Own Marcos for doing that giveaway for us, and always a big thank you to him. And guys, real quick, let me just present something for everyone here. So yeah, big thank you to Collector's Own. These are the two big prizes, and everybody who's a member of the Brickyard. So congrats to the winners. There were also 3 other winners for $50 in-store credit to Collector's Own. So guys, if you guys don't know, go ahead and use code BRICK6. That's BRICK and then the number 6 for 15% off of Collector's Own store. And all his prices are shipping included. So keep that in mind while searching and looking around there. He's got statues, hot toys, and other collectibles, and just a really, really good guy. So that being said, man, what a day for one. I wasn't sure we would get any news. I don't want to spill the news yet. I'm sure everybody knows what we're talking about, but I got about 30 messages, not really 30, but a lot of messages on Instagram and text messaging on a certain announcement from SOOSOO Toys. So really excited to talk about her, and really excited to have you guys on here. We're going to talk about 3 figures. And then we have a couple of topics that we're going to talk about that I've kind of gotten info from you guys. And of course, we are bringing top or bottom back today. We did not have an episode or a segment of top or bottom yesterday or last week, just because there's so much going on. And so last week was the first week we have not done the top or bottom. You guys might see too that Flavio is not here. I believe he is actually seeing Deadpool and Wolverine again tonight. So, priorities. I don't blame him. You got to go see that. He's seeing it with a family member too. So, very important stuff. So, yeah, dude, nice shirt. Yeah. Nice shirt. I got my Sonic on. Got to represent Sonic every now and then. So
I just have blue. So
just blue. Blue. But guys, we have about 16 people in the house to start off. Let's go ahead and actually, before we check in with the chat, Gio, welcome, man. I want to see how you're doing first. Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah. So thank you so much, Brick, for having me on again. This is the 3rd Monday in a row, is it, that I'm on your show? Because I know we did the big 10-man panel, and then I think before that, I was on your show as well. So thank you so much for inviting me here again. Always a lot of fun here. And of course, I loved that giveaway last week. So we're good there. But yeah, thank you so much for having me on here, Brick. Always, like I said, a lot of fun, and for the live chat here, recognize a lot of names in there. So thank you for joining us here tonight.
Well, thanks for being here, and awesome for you to join, man. So Adam 12, I believe this is your first time on the Bugle 6. I have streamed with you maybe 3 times.
Yeah,
2 for sure. But yeah, and now I get to be with you on the Bugle 6.
Yeah, well, first I want to apologize in advance. I'm fighting not COVID. I took a COVID test, but a sinus thing, allergies. Who knows what? So a little scratchy tonight. First of all, Gio, good to see you again. I think last 2 days I may have spent more time with Gio than my wife, but we did this show last night, so that was a good time. And always great with my friend Gio.
I'm sure she's loving that, right?
Yeah, Brick. Again, not the first time you and I have streamed together, but first time for my appearance on the Bugle 6. And I want to thank you for that awesome contest and that 1/10 scale statue from Collector's Own. I had tuned in. I was on vacation last Monday. It was my nephew's wedding. We're in New Hampshire. Went up to Maine for a couple of days, and I got back to the hotel. It was like I don't know, like 10:30 Eastern time, and I put my computer on, put my headphones on, and I'm like, oh, I hope the show's still going on. I know it was late, and it was just after I'd won, and I think I heard you say like, did Adam know he won? And I'm like, wait, I won? And that's when I found out. So I got just in time for the spoiler talk. I'd already seen the movie, so it was great discussion on the film, on Deadpool and Wolverine. But I was like, wait, I won something. And I think Gio and Collector Joey both messaged me. And then I looked at my Instagram, my messages, and they both messaged me that I won. So thank you again for that. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. We have Marcos to thank, and I know you just thanked him too. So for those, but just a reminder, they're both pre-orders, so nobody get upset when you don't get it tomorrow. Just
you mean I'm not getting mine? You mean I'm not getting mine next week?
It might be 6 months, it might be 2 years. Who knows?
Right?
It's Hot Toys for you.
Damn, so. I already made space for that Wolverine. So
yeah. But yeah, so going to be a fun time here. Let's go ahead and say hello to the chat. All right, we have Aunt Jemima. What is up? Smash the like button. Thank you for being here. Good to see you as always. I think it's been a few weeks since I've seen you on the Bugle 6. So really, really good to see you today. So thank you for being here. We got Venom Tech. What is up? Let's go. I actually was able to meet Venom Tech at StatueCon in Michigan with the Wolfpack. So really cool to meet him in person. We got Kenny Lang. Good evening. With a coffee cup, I have a beer mug from actually my favorite book of all time. So, yeah. So I don't know if anybody's read The Name of the Wind, but yeah, it's
okay.
It's a good book. Very good.
I thought it was
anyways. 50 Shades. You and Dilo always get me on that. 50 Shades. Love it. That would be a cool mug. I might do that. No, I won't.
Okay.
X-Man Supreme, what's up, man? Hot Toys puts up Ladypool. SOOSOO puts up Melissa Benoist Supergirl. Two figures that I have been wanting for a while now. Is this real life? Me and this guy click when it comes to certain especially female characters. And yeah, it's just we get each other when it comes to that. So thanks for being here, X-Man. We got Christian Cooper in the house. What's up, guys? Hope everyone is having a good Monday. You know what? It was pretty good, and even better now that we are with some friends here. So thank you for being here, Christian Cooper. We got Valkyrie Magnus. Let's effing go. Good evening. What is up? Valkyrie Magnus, Christian Cooper, saying hello and true to X-Man Supreme. Real quick, we got a question. X-Man Supreme. Now the question is, do I keep my Sasha? Yeah, you do. I mean, if you like Supergirl, so I did something. I still need to pre-order her. I noticed that she's not low in stock or anything like that. I still have to pre-order her. I plan on getting her still. She's not my favorite. My favorite's Melissa Benoist, but I absolutely loved her in that movie. But I'm not like pulling the trigger right away to get her just because they're basically rebooting DC and it kind of just like I'll wait a minute. But definitely gonna get her eventually. Let's see who else we got. We got Lul in the house. Brickzilla. You know what? I've thought about changing my name to that sometimes. Brickzilla. But I don't want to copy P-Rock, and P-Rock's kind of my boy, so I don't want to copy the Godzilla thing. So I think my son has a hold of my my wife's phone, and he's commenting on here like crazy. So if you're there, hello.
Wait, is there a Lego Godzilla?
There is not. If you go, there's a website called Lego Ideas that you can vote. And so any Lego idea set, I don't know if you've heard of that, but if it's voted in, then Lego kind of has the final straw to like push it through. And I think it needs like 10,000 votes or something like that. And then there's a huge chance that they'll make it. So like, like Jaws and Willy Wonka's now coming, which is huge.
That seems like a no-brainer. Godzilla Legos with all the different kaijus.
Do some
Godzilla.
Yeah, all these buildings made out of Lego, and you can make a Godzilla.
Yeah. Put that in your Lego city and stuff. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. We got 28 in the house, guys. Make sure to hit that like button on your way in. Good to have you all here. Collection Obsession. Hello, all. Using those emojis. Thank you for being a member, my good sir. Let's see here. Who else do we have in the house? Universal Key. Evening, everyone. Love that Captain America picture. Movie Canon saying hello to everyone. Let's see. Crippler, Brick Artemis, and the boys. What is up, man? Good to see you.
Hello, Crippler.
We have Ash Chase. What up, plastic crackheads? I like that.
Very
accurate.
I like that. Well, at least for me, anyway.
Yomo, what is up,
Yomo?
How you doing, man?
Yo.
We got Mr. Comics, Yo. So we got Yomo, and then we got Yo. So let's go. Austin Nicholas always joining us. What is
Austin.
up, man? Thank you for tuning in,
Mr. Nicholas.
Yeah, Mr. Nicholas.
And you can probably thank Austin Nicholas for the announcement that we got today.
You know what? Yes, because
so
I will bring that up, or since you've brought it up already. So Austin actually put on his story, at least that's where I saw it. Like basically, hey, SOOSOO, it's been a while. Where you been? And literally, in I don't know, 15 hours or less, they finally announced a figure. And thank you, Austin, but it's a figure I've been waiting for.
It's results.
Like I have been waiting. I'll get into it, but I've been waiting for this figure for a very long time. So Austin, man, I might have to buy you one too.
So Austin, go ahead and tag Hot Toys and say, what's up with that Artisan Anakin?
Yeah.
When is that going to be released?
Right.
So go ahead and do that.
Better yet, Austin, message or tag Hot Toys and say, when are we getting a Melissa Benoist Artisan figure?
Okay.
Just kidding. No, it never happened.
And can you ask about a Bespin Han, please?
Yes.
That's right.
Since you have the connections.
I want my Bespin Han.
We got Cylon. What is up, Cylon? Good to see you
Cylon.
here. Yeah. Aunt Jemima saying, keep Sasha. You have to. She needs her justice for sure. Brick, it's because I love you. I love you too, man. I love you too. All right. So we're through the chat. We got 35 in the house. Good to have everybody here. Stick around. It's going to be a fun show. No giveaway this time, but next episode we'll probably do another giveaway. It's usually like every other episode. So anyways, let's go ahead and dig deep into, you know what? I want to talk about her. I can't wait.
Okay.
I can't wait. I was going to save her for last, but since we're on the topic, since she's the new announcement, I want to talk about the Lady Protector, aka Supergirl, aka Melissa Benoist. This is a figure that I have been waiting for. I didn't care who did it. Obviously, like Hot Toys would be great, but like I was hoping some third party would do it, whether it was like Toys Era, Mars Toys, SOOSOO Toys, and guess what? SOOSOO Toys is doing it. So very excited. I mean, I've been looking up figures of her. Like there's barely any figures, statues, or anything of Melissa Benoist, and it bothers me that there's not. I mean, they did the Flash, Hot Toys did, but that was it. And I was a big Arrow and Supergirl fan. This is my Supergirl. I grew up watching Smallville, and
I used to watch that.
Yeah, I watched that show. I love it. And still to this day, I'll rewatch some older episodes or try to do a marathon, you know. But so my first introduction to Supergirl was from Smallville. Excuse me. And then I went back and
right.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yep. Man, I forgot her name until as soon as you said that, I was like, wow, it's crazy. And then of course I went back to like the older Supergirl movie. And I had seen the first two Superman movies, but then realized that she was in one of the Superman movies as well later on in life. But yeah, my first introduction was Smallville. But this was like where I really fell in love with Supergirl, like the character. And I think it's because when my son was really little, my wife and I would watch this at night while like trying to, you know, get him to sleep and all that jazz. So it was like that connection with family, and I just thought she did an amazing job. I think she fits the look I like everything about the show. It was really corny, like for sure. I mean, it's CW, but like, and it started off real good, and as the seasons went on, it kind of got a little like worse, I would say. And then you had to be like, well, now you got to watch The Flash because they all connect and whatnot. But it was really good overall. Before I talk about the figure though, I'm gonna go over to Geo. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I've seen just a few pictures of this because I did think of you when you were in this office, and I was like, that's Brick right there. That's Supergirl. And actually, you when you were on my show, she was on the Fantasy Figure Zone.
My
So
very first
this,
fantasy figures with you.
oh, it was the first one, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was the first one that popped up because that's the one I knew. Like that's my fantasy figure, 100%.
So although the Fantasy Figure Zone talks about specifically like hot toys in art, so would this be considered for you still a fantasy figure realize? Like,
Not as much now that I'm
oh,
getting
okay.
it,
Oh,
but
okay.
I just wanted something. Now, obviously, if a Hot Toys version comes out, which who knows, at this point, it's probably not very likely at all. But I mean, obviously, I'd get that too because it's going to be better. Let's be real.
Mm.
But SOOSOO toys, like I've heard a lot of good things about as well, from a couple different people. I've also heard that they're hit or miss depending on the figure,
Mhm.
but I heard that they're getting like a lot better with their more recent figures. I've never owned a SOOSOO figure.
Yeah, me too, I haven't.
I've owned third parties, just not SOOSOO, so she will
Mm.
probably be my first. But yeah, dude, I can't wait.
But the figure itself, I mean, it does look really really good. I didn't watch the show, so I don't have that connection. Obviously, like you do. But like I said, the figure looks great and everything. I'm not familiar with that particular storyline. I know that I think it's SOOSOO Toys who also made, was it the Flash from the CW as well, and then Reverse Flash. I was gonna say Reverse Zeo, a Reverse Flash, right?
Yeah,
So
yep.
I think they made them as well, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. I think it's SOOSOO Toys. So I guess I'm not super surprised that they did make uh the Lady Protector or Supergirl. But I'm excited for you for
Thank
getting
you.
her
Thank
because
you.
I don't know if Hot Toys is gonna make it. Probably not. I definitely don't think Inart is gonna do it.
Well, it's just crazy that
So,
Hot Toys did the Flash, and I know that was probably the best, like all around most viewed show that CW
oh
had, but
yeah,
like I was surprised they didn't do Arrow and Supergirl, and like it was kind of surprising.
Did they do one with just a mask on, or a full head sculpt of?
That's a good question. I want to say there was a head sculpt,
Barry?
but I'm sure somebody in the comments will tell me otherwise. But I thought there was a head sculpt. So, but yeah.
but yeah, like I said, look good looking figure. So have you pre-ordered her yet?
No. I was thinking about a couple different websites. I was asking a couple friends of mine where is best that do more third party figures. I was also told by a third person that it will be available on another site tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So I'm trying to figure that out. So she will be pre-ordered by the end of the week for sure.
Okay.
Are you guys gonna get her?
You go ahead first, Gio.
Shame.
I'm not. I'm not gonna get her because, like I said,
have
I'm
to
not.
support it.
I don't have any connection to the Supergirl or this Lady Protector.
Her connection is me.
Well, I mean, you're getting her, but that's the connection there.
I'm
But
just kidding.
but no, I want. There's so much other crap or other shit that's coming out, and stuff that has been announced and stuff that we've been teased that's coming out. So yeah,
sure.
I won't be doing that. And not to like offend you or anything, but if I were to get a Supergirl, I think it'll be Sasha, only because
Really?
it's connected to the Flash and Keaton and all that
Sure.
other stuff, right?
Sure.
So
No, I get that.
that's what I would do there. But yeah.
I get that. But before I get to you, Adam, I want to show this segment intro that I've literally had since day one of the Bugle 6, and I've used it a couple of times. But this is it. I'm only showing it. We're not going to the segment, but I'm only showing it because it's literally a figure I've been wanting for a long time. Yeah, so like she's definitely been on the list, and I might have to change that intro. Who knows? But Adam, what do you think of the Lady Protector? Did you watch the show at all? Are you into those CW shows when they were on, or what?
Yes. So the Flash, especially that show, has a special place in my heart because we a few years ago, my wife and my daughter and I basically binged up until where it got to where its present time was on the CW. We binged the series on Netflix, and it was the first show. Like, my daughter was old enough to watch an adult show. It wasn't a cartoon, and so we watched that together. And especially that first season of The Flash, I encourage anyone to watch the first, maybe even the second season. It's one of the best live action TV show seasons I've ever seen of a comic book story. It was just so much joy in it. It really captured the feeling I had when I read DC Comics, back in the 80s and early 90s. I really loved those first two seasons. And I also enjoyed, as it got later, they expanded it into Arrow, Green Arrow, and then into Supergirl, and they had the team ups every year. They would have different team ups with the characters, and including they did an interesting take on Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah,
they even
I
brought
remember
back Brandon Routh, who played Superman in Superman
Yes.
Returns. He
And
was
they
kind of
brought
like the
back
kingdom come.
and they brought back Tom Welling from
They
Smallville.
brought back Tom Welling,
Yeah.
and
I almost said Tom Holland. That's why I had to think for a second.
So in fact, I think they did. I know there is some love for the Flash movie. I'm not one of those people who enjoyed that movie.
Sure.
Other than Michael Keaton,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I thought that movie was fun, but that was it. It wasn't good. It wasn't memorable. It didn't really have that great of a story. It was the mom and him, like the story of his mom was fine, but like it was fun. There were fun parts.
And one of the things that bothered me, and I'm wondering if they filmed it and they just never used the scene, because if you saw the Crisis on Infinite Earth series that they did on the Arrowverse, they actually had the what's the name of the actor who played him in the movies?
Oh my
mind's
goodness.
blanking on his name.
Which
character? Showed up.
The Flash.
The Flash in the movies.
Oh, yeah, what can I think of his name?
Became controversial with some personal issues.
I can't think.
Whatever.
Somebody in the comments help us out.
In the comments. So he actually showed up as a cameo in Crisis on Infinite Earth. So they tied it in. So if you saw the Flash, you saw they brought in all these different
Ezra Miller
iterations of characters.
Ezra Miller, thank you.
Ezra Miller.
There you go.
They couldn't just for 1 second bring in Barry Allen from the TV show. That kind of rubbed me and my daughter the wrong way. But now onto this figure here. I saw this like an hour or two ago on Instagram. I think this is actually one of the best 1/6 scale female figures I've seen in a while.
Wow, that's huge.
Is that hair sculpted or is it?
That is
it like wool?
Sculpted. I think that's sculpted.
Okay.
Yeah,
looks really good.
And then the other thing I'm curious about is on the legs. Is that like nylon or those, like pantyhose or like what is?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Interesting.
Like a really thin material, I'm sure.
Okay. I think it's an awesome. I mean, that's the classic Supergirl outfit.
Yeah.
I think that,
and it's from her earlier days too. I'm glad they didn't do like the newer seasons. This was the one I wanted. So
okay.
yeah. But Oh, go ahead.
Whether I'm going to get it, I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the price.
Yeah, I saw it somewhere. It didn't seem too bad. Let me look real quick. I got it from Jose. Gave me some prices.
So Brick, looking at the figure here, because I'm not familiar with the actress, but is the likeness pretty good?
No.
Okay, so I don't know, because it's like I've seen I've seen like little parts of probably from your show probably about this
yeah
series.
I mean it's not bad. It's definitely the best figure, not just 1/6, but figure, statue, whatever, of Melissa Benoist I've seen. But it kind of just looks like a blonde. You know what I mean? Like, they got the hair right, they got the tailoring right. The tailoring looks great. Her proportions look really, really, really good. It's just the facial features. I don't really see it. I think it's the mouth that really throws it off. But it's definitely good enough for me, because it's good enough to show that representation of her. So I'm happy with it. Is it perfect? No, but it's good. It's fine.
Now, do we know? I don't have a SOOSOO Toys figure, but do we know how long they take to release a figure?
Well, I know they're saying Q1 of 2025. Now, whether or not they stick to that and delays, I mean, things happen. So, but yeah, I'm gonna hope between January and March of 2025. So it gives me some time too, because we'll get into that. We'll get into all these pre-orders.
Oh
and
yeah,
what's going on with the Hot Toys world, and my goodness.
I think if you want this is the one to get, because I don't think Hot Toys is going to make this. I think the next Supergirl figure that's going to, the next one's going to be Sasha, but the one after that, I would imagine is going to be Millie Alcock from.
Yep, and she's
either her own
I have
movie
high
or
hopes for her.
Assuming she's I'm assuming she's got an appearance in.
Yep.
James
They're saying her first appearance will be in that Superman movie.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll probably be from that.
It's less than a year now.
Yep. Yeah, but I'm excited. I think it looks cool. I actually received so many messages of her and or about her, and people just know that I've been waiting for Melissa Benoist. I've even asked a couple people, hey, do you know if there's a statue anywhere of her that's looks decent, or I was even looking at like 12, 12th scale and all types, but I couldn't find anything that I was happy with. And I was like, maybe one day. And I was so doubtful, and then here she is. That's why I think this is good enough, because I don't care. It's the best there is. It's what we're getting, and I'm happy with it. Real quick, let's check in with the chat here. We have Giovan. Hello, everyone. Hope y'all are keeping cool and hydrated. Definitely. It's been hot, man. It's been hot in Wisconsin. We have Low-Key Collector. What is up, my friend? Sup, gentlemen? Good to see you here. Collection Obsession saying Supergirl's hair color needs to be lighter or needs some highlights, and face likeness needs some fine tuning. I agree. Yeah, her hair is a little lighter in the show too, but like the shape of the hair, I think they did a really good job on that, the sculpt of the hair. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, the face isn't quite there, but I'm fine with it. But the tailoring and the proportions, man, just they look good. They look good. Jose in the house. What is up, sir? Good to see you. Nice seeing you on stream last night with Gio as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Mr. Jose Plus, the fact checker.
Yes. We've got X-Man saying Flash, Arrow, and Supergirl are essentially the trinity of the CW shows. Yes, they are.
Yep.
Yes, they are. I freaking love Melissa Benoist as Supergirl. She's the best Supergirl. I agree. She is the best. We'll see how Millie Alcock does. I think she'll be really good too. I trust James Gunn. I do.
Agreed.
Mr. Comics, Brick, will you get the RF and Flash from SOOSOO to go with this? The Reverse Flash and Flash. That's a good question. That's a good question. If I can find them reasonable price, maybe. That's a good question.
Wait, who's the Superman in this universe or whatever?
The guy who's a Superman right now, and in Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
The guy from
from
Road to Perdition, the kid with Tom Hanks.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is he the kid?
Tyler Hoechlin.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, him. Yeah, everyone's saying I love Arrow. Arrow was the OG, especially those first few seasons, man. That was a good show. Started off great. I love the Flash movie. Yep. Don't judge me.
I actually really did like the Flash, just saying.
Yeah. Okay. Ash Chase says TV Flash should get a movie and play the Flash. He would kill it. He 100% would. He's the best Flash. See, the CW, as corny as it was, right? Like as a show, the actors portrayed these characters so well. And actually, I don't think the Flash is all that corny, to be honest. I think Supergirl was, and I think Arrow got a little hokey toward like the second half of the run. But people look at CW like TV, like it's the TV stuff, but they portrayed these characters very well, and high praise to them. So
is this Supergirl series still running, or is it over?
No,
it's over. It ended a few years back, a couple years back, 2 or 3 years ago.
Only the Superman show's still on, and now it's not part of the quote unquote CW. It's its own thing.
Oh, see, I haven't watched any of those shows, so I'm like, I have an idea just because my brother's a big fan of the Flash show, and that's the little bit of information that I get, but I haven't watched any of them.
Yeah, you should start with Arrow. I'll say that. What is up, the Hot Toys Nightmare? Good to see you here, sir. Thanks for being here. We got
I think the main problem. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good. You're fine.
I think the main problem with the shows, if I had to say, it would be those model of TV shows are the old network model where you have 22, 24 episodes a season, and it's hard not to have filler when you have that many shows, as opposed to like this House of the Dragon, 8 episodes this season or 10 episodes. The first season, I think that's up to maybe 12 to 16 episodes is a better model, because you're going to end up having a lot of filler episodes. And I think sometimes with the Flash, they're just struggling sometimes, or they kept telling the same stories over and over again.
Sure. Yeah. X-Man saying, I love the Arrow show, but they essentially made him Batman because they couldn't use Batman. Not a huge fan of that aspect, but I do like the show. See, something with Arrow was... okay, so I grew up loving comics as a kid. I grew out of comics, and then when I was about 19 years old, because of Smallville, once again, and I love the guy that played Green Arrow in Smallville. I got really into the Green Arrow comics, and he became like one of my top 3 favorite superheroes, which is crazy because there's a lot of really good superheroes nowadays. I mean, maybe top 6, 7, but at that time I was loving them. So when they came out the show, I was super stoked. And I understand that, but at the time I didn't really I was like, I got Arrow. This is fine. This is cool. Give him some love. So yeah, I get that.
They originally wanted to make a Bruce Wayne TV show when Smallville ended, and Warner Brothers said, no, Batman's for the movies. And so they said, okay, we'll take Green Arrow and make it like Batman.
Yeah. And then they did Gotham. Not CW didn't, but who did Gotham?
Wasn't it Fox?
Fox.
Was it Fox? Dude, that was a good show. That was a really good show. I enjoyed Gotham.
I didn't watch that either. Man. I know I haven't watched any of that show.
The first 3 seasons says Valkyrie Magnus. I love the first 3 seasons of Arrow. Yeah. Very good stuff. One more comment, then we'll go to talk about this figure a little more. I'm personally going to get the Flash Supergirl. I like her suit design a little more than this one. Yeah, I mean, I think they both look great. 100%. I might have to get them both. So Supergirl is my favorite female superhero without a doubt. Like, I've talked about, if you guys watch me on Wolfpack or whatever, like I talk about, oh my goodness, Scarlet Witch, and I talk about Black Widow, but Supergirl is like my jam. So this is big. But yeah, CW did a fantastic job with flashbacks of Leon Wu. I can never say that last name correctly, but yeah, definitely did a great job. And yeah, Deathstroke and Arrow, like that was probably the coolest villain on TV other than like Game of Thrones. Okay. But like when it comes to like TV villains, like Deathstroke did a very, very, very good job in that.
Do you know who played him?
You know what? If you said his name, I would know. Let me look that up.
John Barrowman or something, or Barrymore? John Barrowman? Is that his name?
Maybe I won't know it right away.
What else has he done? Do you know? I don't recognize the name.
No, I don't remember.
So you guys talk while I figure this out.
So if they were to announce this Artisan version of this Supergirl, that would be a fantasy figure realized then, right, Brick?
So it was Manu Bennett. Manu Bennett, and he played in, I'm not sure what else he played in, but he did a really good job.
Oh, okay.
So,
I don't recognize.
What was John Barrowman? Was he the
he might have.
He was tied in with like Ra's al Ghul's group, wasn't he? The League of Shadows.
It might have been him. I'm not good with actors' names unless they're like movie actor, like big times.
Wasn't the guy from Shameless and Jedi Survivor? Wasn't he Joker in one of those shows? Was it Gotham?
He was. I thought that was Gotham. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's
Gotham.
I think Cameron. I think Monaghan. I believe his name.
Yeah.
He is. He's pretty cool.
But he's not. But this is not connected to any of these.
These aren't connected to Gotham.
Yeah,
Gotham was kind of its own universe.
Thing. Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, this doesn't come with much. Again, it's not very pricey. I don't remember the price. It was like around $200. So not too bad. From SOOSOO Toys, Lady Protector. The base, you have the hexagon base. You got a few hands, and loving the tailoring. So excited to have this figure on my display. Really am excited. So am I the only one getting it then?
I think so.
Adam, or maybe
right now.
Okay.
But I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you. So.
Well, thank you. Let's go ahead and talk about another figure and stick with the DC. Now, Batman 89 from Hot Toys, a figure that has been my most anticipated figure to be released this year, is getting some hate. And I hate to say that. And I hate to agree with some people that there are and seems to be a few issues with this figure. I don't like to judge until I have the figure myself. I am not canceling this figure because I've been excited for it. I love Michael Keaton. I truly believe he's the best Batman. I grew up with it, and I need that. I need Michael Keaton 89 Batman in my display. So, and it comes with a badass stand. So, diorama base. So, yeah. What do you guys think, Adam? Are you getting this figure? Have you seen the pictures? What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I mean, it looks. I'm getting it. Yes. I wanted the one with the base, and I put on myself on the wait list for both of them. And fortunately or unfortunately, the one that I got called up for was the standard one. So I'm not gonna. I'd like to get that awesome base, but I'm not gonna get that awesome base unless I get to figure some other means and cancel my, lose my deposit. But I don't know. Some of the pictures I've seen, one of the Hong Kong YouTube pages, I've only seen like one review. I can't remember. It wasn't MRC, I don't think. Maybe it was MRC. He had this one and then the original Hot Toys 1.0. And to me, this one looked better. when the side-by-side comparison. And I wanted the 1.0 and I didn't, I chose not to get him because this was coming out. Now there's what, 3 faceplates, right? One of them does not look that great. But the one
looks like the meme of that little girl.
Yeah, that one, like, no. I'm never gonna use that one.
Give me some sugar.
There's one where he's bloody that looks really good.
Yeah.
Like
that one,
and then there's a second one. The other thing is, what I found is you can't always trust the blogger photos. I've just found that personally in the last couple of months. The blogger photos for episode 2 Anakin, not so great. The blogger photos for Mace Windu, not so great. The blogger photos for Kang the Conqueror, not so great. And I have all 3 of those figures. Oh, the blogger photos for Padme, really not so great.
Yeah.
I have all 4 of those figures. I love every one of them, and I think they look awesome. Sometimes when you get them in hand, you see they look, they look really good. And sometimes, I don't know if it's just I'm not a photography person, so I'm just not sure if it's the right angle they're doing or the lighting. Lighting's sometimes a big impact.
Yeah.
They don't always look good. And, I think sometimes Hot Toys, probably like anything you do at work, I think you always try to do the best you can at every assignment you have. But let's face it, there are some things where it's more of a priority and you're really giving the A game. And I'm not, and other times you got to get it done. And some of these, they just got to get it done and get these things out.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only thing I'm worried about with this figure is his suit. It does seem a little kind of just like mushy and bulky. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Let me see if I can find a pretty decent close-up. But you can really,
but I can't tell what they're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, you probably can't really see it in these photos, but you definitely see them when they're side by side.
I noticed the suit more in Mr. Dan, the Bat Fans review on the Keaton Batman.
Yeah,
because he got it already. He got the 2.0 and he did a review, and he has like close-ups of the suits, the figures, and I noticed it there.
Sure. But it's almost bubbly, right?
It looks a little bit like that, yeah. And I mean, I don't mind it because, like I said, I said this in my show yesterday, but I need Keaton. Like I think a lot of you guys know, or many of you guys know, that I'm trying to collect each iteration, Batman film iteration, and I am missing Keaton. And I knew this was announced, and I was like, I'm going to try to get him. And I was in the same situation as Adam, that when I started collecting, that was already waitlisted on Sideshow, so I just put myself on the waitlist, and I got the conversion, but it was for the standard. So now I'm not going to get the diorama base unless I try to get it on eBay or something. Just like I was trying to get that base from the 100 DC Warner Brothers Batman, the blue Batman, the Christian Bale, has those bats. I was trying to get that base on eBay, but I was outbid. But I may do that, but it's probably not going to be likely. But yeah, I need this figure, and I'm excited that they teased the Clooney Batman. I know a lot of don't care for the Clooney one because of the movie, but that's what I need.
Awesome. That looks awesome right there.
Yeah, that picture looks great. There's a lot of very cool photos in these blogger photos, and but just like a lot of people were talking about the mouth plates and then the texturing of the suit and things like that.
Yeah, stuff like that. I just have to see it in person because I'm with Adam too, and like I remember people were talking about Scarlet Witch Wanda from WandaVision, and like the huge thing was her shoulders. And yes, as that does somewhat bother me, I still really like that figure. I can have some negatives toward a figure and still love it, right? I love her head sculpt. I love the outfit, her cape. Like there's a lot that I love about that figure, and then putting her with Vision is really cool. I mean, people are kind of complaining about the RoboCop, the tent and how it's, too purple or not purple enough or whatever the hell they were saying. It was like it's almost just who cares, like little things like that. I mean, a lot of people care. I shouldn't say that, but what I'm trying to say is I need to see it first, right? Before I can place my judgment. And I love watching, videos out there, people getting it right away, because you do get opinions, and I do listen to that. But like, before I say, oh, that looks ugly, and kind of get on that wagon there, I need to be able to see it first before I have my solid opinion on it,
Although what I would say, if there is a figure like these blogger photos, like you mentioned, Adam, because you've had the figures in hand because you bought them directly from Hong Kong, some of them, right, Adam? So you got them, and you saw that the blogger photos were crap, but then you actually got the figure, and then you saw for yourself that they're actually not bad, right? Definitely not as bad as the photos. But then the thing is, like, well, if you're spending all this kind of money on these figures and the blogger photos are showing you something really, really bad, it's like, then you're spending all this money. So I could understand some people like, oh, I'm not gonna get this now because I would be spending $300-$400 or who knows how much more if it's like, let's say an Artisan. Like, what if we get an Artisan figure and it looks crappy, the hair looks crappy or something, like the artist, like the Anakin.
Yeah, I need an Artisan figure to be released, because I'm really excited to hear what people say about these figures.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, that's exciting.
Yeah, but like, just things like that. It's like I can understand people having their issues when they see a photo and they're like, that's not gonna do it for me, because these aren't cheap figures. So I totally get that. And are you gonna wait until you get the figure to find out, oh, these are actually good? So it comes down to the whole, how bad do you want this figure? What does this figure mean to you? Something we'll get into later, I'm sure. But that's kind of how that's kind of how I see that. But
it's the cape. I know some people have been complaining about the cape too, like it's way too big, and I kind of see that. But again, I love Keaton, man. I love 89. My favorite Batman movie is Returns. But I love those first two movies. I love Tim Burton. I love that story behind it all with him, and how just everything about it. When it comes to Robin Williams almost playing the Joker, and then saying no to the Riddler because of what happened with him with the whole Joker situation. Like, there's just so much cool movie history with these films. So I think all three of us have this figure pre-ordered, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And hopefully Sideshow. I got mine from Sideshow. Hopefully within the next 2.5 months, I will get my figure.
That's 2.5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is one that I've had paid off for a while too. It's always nice when a figure is released and you're like, don't have to worry about that one.
Yeah, except the shipping stuff. But I mean, that's not as much as the whole figure. But yeah, that one's paid off. That one's ready to go. So I'm waiting for this Keaton. So
that's awesome. I'm glad all three of us are getting it. We have collector Joey in the house. What is up, my good sir? Okay. Good to see you around. He was on the big stream last week as well, the 10-man stream, Deadpool and Wolverine episode. So thank you for joining us and having fun with us tonight. Collection Obsession, there's only a couple of the mouth plates that aren't that great, but other than that, I think this is a great 2.0. Batman, especially considering the pose ability. Deluxe is coming home. Don't cancel your orders. I agree 100%, 110% with Collection Obsession. Do not cancel. I've heard a few people cancel already. I'm like, man, it's crazy. This is one that I don't think you should.
Yeah, I mean, like you, this is very nostalgic to me. I mean,
yeah.
I remember seeing this. I said this on Geo Show last night. Opening day, I believe it was June 19, 1989. I went with my dad, and I was so excited to see this. I was like freshman or sophomore in high school. And I remember like they had the preview to this on Entertainment Tonight a few months before. Wow. And my parents taped it on their VCR, and I would watch that. This, obviously before the internet, and I would watch that trailer with, Jack Nicholson saying, "Wait till they get a load of me," like over and over again. And
that's awesome.
Just seeing that was they're going to take Batman, that dark Knight vision that was in the Frank Miller comics, taking that seriously on screen. I was so excited to see that.
Yeah, I did not see it in theaters. I think my first Batman movie I saw in theater was Forever. However, I was born in '89, so the year this movie came out. I think the first time I saw this, I was maybe 4 years old, and it was kind of just on. I wasn't really paying attention, but I do remember that intro seeing it for the first time, where he's like, lifts his cape up, and there's those two bad guys, and the very beginning. And you nowadays, like, even when I see it now, I'm like, oh yeah, these aren't the guys that kills his parents. They're just, it's in the future kind of thing. So I always forget about that. But let's take a look at what Gio's got here. What is that, sir?
So this is my consolation prize because I couldn't get that.
Oh, dude, nice.
So I just bought this. It's like Halloween decor, and then I saw it. I was like, kind of looks like
that.
Eden.
Yeah, that works.
I was like, I'll use that.
Smart.
It's not as big. It's not as elaborate. But this was like $10. I could use it for Halloween decor, and I'm gonna have it with when I get the Keaton.
I like that. Well, congrats on
that.
Dude,
that's smart.
$10?
So yeah. So I was like,
man, I might have to get a 1/6 scale couch since we're not getting one for Lady Deadpool. So I might have to do that too. So I was going to talk about Lady Deadpool, but I don't think we will. I've already kind of talked about her in the past, but definitely getting her. I want to try and get the majority of that line. So I'm not sure about you guys, but yeah, Batman '89. I'm still excited. This, this one right here. It looks like
that's the one I was talking about. Not so good.
Yeah.
It's like
that's,
he just
that one meme. Yeah. It's that one.
Yeah, that's good. But I like this one.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, sick. Okay. So, checking with the chat here a little bit more before we move on. Verzio saying Fig is beautiful. The collector in the house with his popcorn. What is up? Man, popcorn sounds good. I wish I could like pig out on some popcorn and munchies without the mic hearing all that and just having a good time hanging out,
Especially popcorn.
Man, like really feel like we're on
Did I ever tell you the story when I first watched A Quiet Place in the theater for the first time?
Oh no. I still have not seen that movie, but I want to.
But the very first Quiet Place movie, and I got some popcorn and stuff like that, and then I don't know if you remember at the beginning of that movie, it's very, very quiet. So I was like grabbing the popcorn, and I was like,
gosh,
and I was like eating it, and then everyone can fucking hear my popcorn.
People are trying to open up their candy.
Yeah, it's like any little thing
one word said. Wait, what'd he say?
Exactly. It was so uncomfortable, but because it was so quiet. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna eat the popcorn until there's some kind of noise going on. So, yeah, I thought that was funny.
Oh man, we got Zach Davenport. What's goody? What is up, Zach? Thank you for being here, man. We got a lot to talk about yet. Let's see. This is the case of the figure being better than the real life practical suit, so it's okay by me. Yeah, we'll
Not
see.
Wrong.
Yeah. X-Man saying, suit issues aside, I think that this figure will look so good on the shelf next to the Batmobile. Man, I wish I got that Batmobile. I just couldn't.
I do too.
I just couldn't. Everyone kind of saying hi to each other there. If you know Hot Toys, there'll be another one and better. It applies to every character. Yeah, I mean, it's true. This is 2.0. I would assume, we're getting Batman. Well, it's not official, but we've seen pictures of Batman Returns. So that is possible to be announced soon or at some point. And in '89, maybe 5 to 10 years down the road, we'll probably get another one. I don't know if I can wait that long and then wait for the pre-order. And so got to get this one.
And we might get an update on that Catwoman from Jazz Inc. this week.
Ooh, that's good.
I obviously I don't have no sources on that, just the fact that he's going to stream with the 1/6 scale man on Thursday. But I'm excited for that.
Okay, nice. I'm gonna have to thanks for letting me know. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun with him. So I'll take that. Take a look. Jovan says only got space for one Batman, and it's reserved for BVS 2.0. Though if I could, I would get this guy for sure. No, I get that, man. Space is a real thing, and I don't blame you. That BVS 2.0 looks really, really good. I have yet to pre-order that one too. I don't.
To you.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it's Keaton. You know, I do have the Batman as well, but for me, if I could only choose one, it's Keaton. Go ahead, Gio. You wanted to say something?
Were you were you a fan of the Batman figure, the Benson?
Okay, let's talk about this. I'm gonna give myself 2 minutes.
The
and we're
figure
gonna
of the movie.
I think the movie was good. The movie was good. I think the movie for me was like a B. Okay, as in boy. I thought it was a great film. I think there should have been more action. Honestly, the action that was there was good, but I felt like there could have been more. I like how it's more of like a dark side, more realistic. That's great, but I always thought when everyone else is talking crap about Pattinson, I'm like, he's gonna kill it. Because I've seen other movies that he played in, whereas a lot of people haven't. They just knew him as Twilight. But I saw Water for Elephants and that 9/11 movie. I forgot what that one was called, but you know, I've seen him in other films. I was like, this guy can act. Like he'll be fine. The problem with the figure for me is it was so overhyped that everyone was talking about it for months. And then it was, when is it releasing? Is it going to be in or Hot Toys first? And then Hot Toys was released and people talked about it for forever. And then InArt was released and people still haven't gotten it, you know, and like, it's like this ongoing thing, which has kind of killed it for me. I have the figure. The figure is fine. I have better figures in my collection too, in my opinion. I have the figure. It's fine. I like it. I would never get rid of it. But I think it's one of those things where, you know, it's good, but can we talk about something else? It was kind of what I was at the time. But the longer I have it, the more I enjoy it, because that's kind of pushed to the side now. Like all the people talking about it nonstop. So I can actually enjoy it just for myself, which I think is very important. So, yeah. Why do you not think it was a good figure? Or?
No, I like it. It's just
okay.
I don't think I ever asked you if you liked.
Okay. Yeah, I like the figure. I like the figure.
Oh, okay. The figure. I'm referring to the figure.
I think the figure is a good A tier, probably.
It's kind of when you overhype a movie, right? It's like everyone's
exactly. Or when people talk shit about a movie, you like it more than others because you're like,
right.
I thought it was pretty good. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Like the Power Rangers movie, the latest one. I was like, this is pretty fun. But okay.
I liked it. I like that. Actually.
Yeah. So just I'm weird though. I'm weird, and I think some people like maybe think that I just try to be different to be a weird like that, but really, like, I'm just different. I don't try to be. I just am.
I mean, they did tease Green Ranger for the sequel, which is now not happening. But
yeah, right. Now they're doing like a whole new remake, right?
Yeah, I think so. But.
Yeah. Okay, so we have 2 topics today, you guys. And I am going to start with the main topic, and that is FOMO, fear of missing out. Now, this has been a real problem with a lot of collectors, to the point where I think collectors are just so stressed and almost like taking a step back or trying to figure it all out. I'm stressed. It's a lot to talk about and go over on streams. It's a lot to process. You feel like you have to get everything. I mean, as a YouTuber, you know, you want to keep up with everything because, you know, others are, and you want to keep up. So that's a problem. You want to then, when you pre-order something and you have that problem, then all of a sudden a figure that comes out or is announced that you actually really like, and you're like, oh, shit, like I just talked about this figure saying I want it. It looks good. And now this is a figure that I actually like have a connection with. I guess I'll do both. And then another one comes out and another one. Just real quick, let me show this picture here. This is a picture of figures that have been announced just for the month of July of this year.
Oh my God.
Just for the month of July.
That's insane.
And some of these are instant releases. Some of these are artisan. Some of these have sculpted versions that aren't on here. Like, it is a real problem for collectors, including myself, to try to keep up with. Now what is FOMO? Like, let's get I wrote this down. Like, it's the fear of missing out. Actually, I don't have it written down anymore, but it's basically like, here we go. Feeling of anxiety or insecurity about missing out on an experience, or in this case, a figure. Perception that others are having more fun, a deep sense of envy. And those are just some, examples of what people may be feeling when having FOMO. My thing with FOMO is you also worry about things that will be released and not be able to get later unless you pay a higher price tag because of the artisan price tag, right? You're seeing these artisan figures going for like $800 to $1,000, and they're not even released yet. Will that price stay there? Who knows? Probably not for some, probably so for others. But you worry about that. The time exclusives, like, Hot Toys is not helping us with this issue.
All right.
and nor are they helping us with this issue by announcing so many figures and at the same time releasing figures in that month. And yes, we want more and more figures. I'm not saying stop, but when it's all kind of happening at once, right? With the timed the queues, right? The wait, I want to say time exclusive, but they're not. That's a whole different thing I'm talking about. But like the the limited, the artisan, the number of figures that are being announced, the teases that they shown on showcases with like figures such as Batman and Robin and Batman Returns and Terminator. It's almost over. It is overwhelming, and it's scary. And as not just a YouTuber, as I explained, by trying to keep up and have decent content, but as just a collector, it's tough because we all have our lives. We all have families, or if not families, we definitely have things that we need to prioritize, right? And we have bills. We need to be smart. And I guess, Gio, I'm going to start with you. How do we go about this? Do we just say, nope, don't need it? It's cool looking figure, don't need it. And you just be smart that way and be very strict? Or do you kind of try to figure it out?
Well, I mean, for me, it's just like, how connected I am to this figure? How connected am I to maybe a line I already started? Like I just mentioned the Batman stuff, right? Like I'm collecting each film iteration of the Batman. So it's like I said, they teased Clooney. So now it's like, I need to get him. And if there's like a situation where like they say, oh, that Clooney's going to be an exclusive limited figure, then I'm going to really try to get him. So I will definitely feel FOMO there, I guess, fear of missing out, because for that particular situation. Now, I don't necessarily feel that I'm gonna miss out on figures that I'm not really connected to anyway. Like, okay, it's an artisan, it's limited, it's exclusive or whatever. So that in itself is not necessarily going to drive me to try to get that figure, just because I might miss it. I'm sorry, I might miss out on it, right? Because it's like, well,
right.
I don't really care so much for that figure anyway. I guess somewhat of an example is this imposter or Batman imposter Joker artisan figure.
Yeah.
And that one is like, well, I could probably, I could go, you know, without him. I almost didn't get him.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like it's Joker. He's like one of my top 3 characters of all time. So I was like, and then I liked Heath Ledger. I think is probably the best Joker. So, and then I like Batman 2, and he's wearing a Batman suit, and it looks cool, and it looks different, and it's like it'll stand out.
And it looks
in my
like he got shot with a paintball gun, and I like paintball, and
so then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try to get him.
Yeah.
and then I did end up getting it there, but I guess that's kind of how I define it. It's kind of like I really had to be connected to it. Only then would I really feel FOMO, right? And not just the simple fact that it's exclusive, or just the fact that it's Artisan, but I have to be really connected to it. But
yeah, I hear that. So Adam, are there any figures on here that you have that fear of missing out, or that you've experienced that just in the month of July?
There's several of them on here. There's, let's see, General Grievous, the Darth Vader, initially the Darth Maul Nightlight, and then I saw some reviews that said it was terrible, so that dropped. The Joaquin Phoenix Joker, and then Deadpool. So Deadpool in particular is one I've been wrestling with, because I have the 1.0 version. I got it on eBay, a pretty good deal a few months ago for like 130, 135 bucks. And you know, I was actually playing around. He's off camera. I know he's right over there. You can barely see him. I was playing around with him, putting him in poses, putting him on top of my Game of Thrones, you know, the throne, the throne statue, you know, on Captain Kirk's chair, just playing around, taking some photos. And I'm like, do I need, even though, yes, it's a brighter red, it comes with those golden guns, it's got dog pool, it's got the baby pool, the ghost pool,
head pool.
You know, I mean, it's an awesome looking figure, but if I have a pretty much the same costume, my figure is not peeling or any, you know, there's no.
So basically, you're spending like $300 on baby pool, and
and I'm like, no, I don't. Right. So, but you know, I've come close a couple times. You know, you go to that sideshow page and you look at it and like, do I want this? Do I want this? And
I know that feeling.
And I'll tell you this. This last week, I've done a lot of thinking on some of these figures, and last week I haven't unboxed them yet, but I got the Clone Wars Obi-Wan, and then I got the Mandalorian Obi-Wan exclusive from back in May. They came the same day, and I had the Obi-Wan Kenobi Obi-Wan from the TV show on. I already paid it off. I had it on order. I canceled it and I got my money back because, and fortunately, because it's been delayed, I didn't lose my NRD. Oh, okay. Because I mean, I have the episode 3 Obi-Wan. I now have the Clone Wars, the Mandalorian, and then I have the A New Hope. How many Obi-Wans do I need?
Right.
You know, and it's and then I'm honestly I'm thinking about hot, the two hot, was it Hati, the two Sith from Ahsoka.
Balin
and Skull, and
and Shin.
Yeah,
yep.
I'm thinking about canceling those because as much as I like the show and those figures look cool, they're not top tier for me.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. During that show, I was like, oh, I need these, like, but you just don't realize, like, this is probably the best year, or maybe not best, but the biggest year for Hot Toys, with Artisan, with the number of figures. I mean, this is something I don't think really anybody expected, especially since not really a lot of big films are coming out this year. Like I feel like everyone is kind of waiting for Deadpool and Wolverine, and that was like our one big movie. But then you have like all of these figures all of a sudden be announced. Like we were almost blindsided. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we expected the 2.0s because of the fact there aren't a lot of big movies coming out. We expected that, but we didn't expect this 1 month. And I might have even missed a figure. I don't know. But what? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 figures. 15 figures in the month of July. That is what, an average of like 3 to 4 a week.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think Sneaker called it like the big hurt. I had 5 figures coming.
The big sad.
In the span of like 2 weeks. Big sad.
The big
yeah,
sad.
Big sad.
I had 5 figures coming in the span of like 2 weeks that were delivered from Sideshow.
Yeah, it's tough, man. And you know, for me, for example, I have it 100%. I have FOMO, and I'll get a little personal. It's not too personal, but like I'm having issues with my basement. Okay, I had to redo my yard, so that costs, you know, thousands of dollars. The basement's going to cost thousands of dollars. I have a new baby on the way. That's going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Thank you. You know, so like this is it's a lot. And when you go into a year expecting to get everything that, maybe not every figure, but everything that you want, and you're going to figure it out, it's tough. And FOMO comes in many different sizes too. I mean, you have influencers, right? So you have people who are reviewing figures right away or talking about these figures, such as like the, you know, let's say Justin or something, for new people coming in, and they watch Justin, and you know, they see these figures like, oh man, like, you know, and influencers aside from him as well, just talking about how awesome these figures are, and oh, this one looks really good, the head sculpt is spot on. You know, you have people like us where we have a channel and we talk about it and we talk ourselves into it. And not only that, but we want these figures, like I mentioned before, to review and to have content. Then you have like, what's the big thing? And because it's such like the big thing, it's like, oh man, I got to get that. Even if it's not really your thing, but it's like the big thing. For example, you know, Deadpool. Maybe not everybody's thing is Deadpool, but now they're kind of thinking about it because Wolverine's a part of it and they liked the movie. And they're like, well, do I get a Deadpool? Do I, you know, an Artisan Spider-Man? Like, you know, I wasn't going to go Artisan, but now they made a Spider-Man version, just for example. Or, you know, just figures you love, and then you get that fear of missing out the ones that you actually do love. And yeah, it's become a problem. You know, there's FOMO's always been a thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is not new, but the last few months have been very extreme.
Yeah.
And you know, I know we can get into as well, like, you know, 2.0s, and you know, people kind of getting upset with, you know, the value of these figures. That's a whole different subject, but you know, the FOMO thing is real. And I'm afraid that certain collectors and certain content creators are going to be pushed away too much and say sayonara, you know what I mean? And just can't handle it anymore. What are you going to say? Sorry, Adam.
Yeah. So the other day when the Joaquin Phoenix Joker went on sale, I was in the queue. I had the Artisan in my cart. I was going to press the button to order it. And then I thought to myself,
yeah,
Adam, what the hell are you doing? No, I think his performance was amazing. Sure. I think it's a very well done film. But I'm going to go see the second one, or at least I don't know if I'm going to see it in the theater, but I'll at least see it when it's on streaming.
Sure.
But I didn't. It's not that I didn't enjoy the film. I didn't. It's not a movie that I want to see over and over again, like Endgame or the Dark Knight trilogy. It's a very depressing movie, and it's an important movie about in some ways about the state of the mental health system in our country. But it's not something that gives me joy. and I want things in my room here that I enjoy, that has a nostalgic feeling. So what I've tried to do as best I can with the figures I'm getting is most of the figures are stuff from at least 5 years ago or more to give me time. Do I like this stuff? That's why I'm thinking about those Ahsoka figures, other than Thrawn, because he's a character from the early '90s that I've followed. But I'm like, am I going to like this stuff a few years from now? I know with the Marvel stuff, yeah, I like that stuff from when I was a kid, and some of these movies are 15 years old. Star Wars, forever. I love that. But that Joker movie, it doesn't quite fit in with what I'm doing, and I got caught up with the FOMO, with how beautiful that looked, and then I thought, how is this going to fit in with my Dark Knight display with the Michael Keaton Batman? Listen, I know anyone make any collection work, but it's not going to keep with what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to convey in my collection. Your other point there about not without going too far down the rabbit hole of the 2.0s, the 3.0s, that sort of thing. I just think like the Scarlett Johansson Black Widow that you have there, that's a beautiful looking figure. But I'm happy with next to that Endgame one I have next to Cap right here.
It's a great figure.
That's a great figure. That's good enough for me. And I think it's a beautiful figure. Like, eyes look amazing. You gotta be happy with. I guess it's a lesson for all of us, and no matter where you are in life, and as you always want to improve, but you also want to be happy with what you have. And I think it's a hard thing sometimes for collectors. You gotta be happy with what you have. And the one thing is, a lot of us who are Hot Toys collectors, 1/6 scale collectors, many of us graduated from originally getting the Black Series or Marvel Legends or the 3 3/4 inch, Star Wars figures or whatever figures. And it's easier getting every couple of years the 2.0, the 3.0, the 4.0. They cost a lot less. These are, $300, $400 or more a pop. You got to be sensible. I mean, unless you got Elon Musk's money, then, go forth and prosper. I don't have Elon Musk's money,
Yeah, if only. But yeah, a lot of good points there, man. I feel that there are certain characters, certain figures that I like. I do want to have multiples of.
Sure.
Like I know people, for let's say Vader's or Iron Man. My thing is Spider-Man. I like, because I like having my own Spider-Verse in my cases. You know what I mean? So it kind of makes sense that way. But real quick, do you agree with the announcement of this Batman Keaton and the T2? The only grail left is Reeve Superman, or is there another still standing? So I was thinking about this. We have Darkseid Anakin, which I don't think will be standing for too much longer.
Right.
We also have Yondu, which I don't see them doing a Yondu anytime soon. Will they do it one day? Maybe. We also have figures from Alien, whether it's a Xenomorph or what's the Ripley? What's her first name?
Ellen.
Yeah, Ellen. So there are a few, but that's it, just a few. So X-Man Supreme, I think for me at least, the fear is now not being able to keep up. Missing out isn't so much the issue as drowning in the flood. Yeah, and I think to your point, I think that's where my problem comes in, that I can't keep up to when then I miss out because I can't keep up. And that's my problem. It's not the limited, it's not the necessarily the price for a single figure, but it's adds up, and then I can't keep up, even though I would love to have probably 80% of the figures on this screen right here. But in reality, I'm probably only going to be able to get 50% of these figures. And if that, and that's actually amazing. Like, anybody who can get one of these figures, like, that's amazing. You know what I mean? So, any of you guys who can get all of them, congrats. So I only want two things on this list. Perfect, because that makes it so much easier too. Because like I said, I want 80% of this stuff, and it's hard. X-Man saying I don't want to miss certain things, but there's so much out there or out now that I'm getting used to passing on a lot of stuff that I otherwise would have wanted. Yeah, I don't sell a lot. I just don't. I've only been in the hobby for a couple years. I have like close to 50 figures. I haven't sold a lot. Whether it's other things I collect too or not, like it takes a lot for me to have to sell something. Because I always worry that I'm going to wish I didn't. You know, like after I made the mistake with selling all of my comics, it's really hard to sell again because I know there'll be a time where I'm like, oh, I wish I had that. So that and what was he saying here? So getting passing a lot. Okay, so that and canceling. Like I used to like never really cancel either, but I found myself I canceled a couple figures these last couple weeks to keep up with what we're seeing in the month of July. Because to me, an Artisan Black Widow is more important than having a third Vader or you know what I mean? Like to me, that's just more important. Or having a Deadpool in my collection, or you know, a Joker is just more important to me than, let's say, whatever, you know, Ahsoka. I haven't pre-ordered any Ahsoka. You know, I love Star Wars. I do. But like for me, it's Marvel's first, where I know the majority of the people in this hobby, it's Star Wars. And that's awesome. But for me, it's Marvel, which can be good too. Because right now, a lot of Marvel figures are on the cheaper end and all of that. But, you know, it sucks right now because there's a lot of Marvel coming out and it's tough. So because of that, I can't get every Star Wars figure that I want all the time. Yeah, located in Argentina. You're definitely having more fun collecting. Hot Toys Nightmare saying, I understand FOMO. I was very afraid of not getting any clones. I now have over 100. Goodness gracious, that's awesome.
Wow.
1/6 clones with the expectation of 1 million more on the way. You imagine?
Yeah.
Man, like, and then knowing too that there's going to be 1 million more on the way, and you're at over 100. Like, that's awesome. I want to see a picture of his clones. That'd be cool.
He truly has a clone army for a more secure society, as Palpatine said.
Okay.
Oh man. Zach Davenport saying, got a PO Vader this week. Yeah, you do. If you want him, you gotta get him. FOMO. I have 5 of the figures on the screen right now on order, and the full suit Wolverine that isn't pictured. Yeah. So so I think the full suit Wolverine was announced in May or July, or May or June. I'm sorry. So that's why he's not up on this one. But yeah, and then we probably have more Deadpool figures to be announced this month and many other things.
Or tomorrow.
Yeah. Or tomorrow as we talk about this. Only 3 things here: Grievous, Sculpted Joker, and Deadpool. We got SG Collectibles. What is up, fellas? What is up, man? Welcome. When in doubt, the answer is always no. Remember it. Yeah, and that's awesome. That's really smart. So for me, that I'm trying to learn is that if I'm kind of on the edge or 50-50, it should just be a no, especially at this point. Like if you're not like at least 95% in on a figure, just you're good. You don't have to get it. You know what I mean? Like you just don't. Whether or not it's an Artisan figure or not, like just don't feel like you have to get them all. But yeah, just trying to read through some more comments here. I was looking forward to slimming down my PO list, laugh out loud, but I didn't know what we'd see we'd see the Deadpool corpse, right? And here that comes. We're going to be getting all types of stuff, man. How deep is the panel going down the Ahsoka line? Well, I just brought that up. I haven't pre-ordered any Ahsoka yet. And when that show was on, I was pumped. I'm probably going to stick with Chopper, Hera, maybe the new Ahsoka. And I know a lot of people are saying Thrawn. I don't feel like I need Thrawn personally. But yeah, as of right now, probably just Chopper, Hera, and Ahsoka. But what about you guys?
Yeah, I'm not planning on getting any Ahsoka figures. I think if I start doing that, then I'm gonna want another one and then another one. So I'd rather not.
Yeah.
I have Thrawn. I'm definitely keeping that. I have Balin and Shin pre-ordered, and I'm on the fence. I'm actually just looking. I have 7 pre-orders right now of figures, and so the Batman we discussed. I have the Darth Sidious that came out in May. Shin and Balin, the Han Solo, and then I got the Darth Sidious last year. That was before we knew about the
Clone Wars one.
The Clone Wars Darth Sidious. That one, and again, that one I have paid off. I'm waiting to see what the blogger photos are. I just talked about the blogger photos and videos are on that to decide, because I don't know if I need both of those. I got Bane. I'm gonna keep that, and I said Thrawn.
Yeah.
So I have those 3 right now. I mean, I would love to get some of the other Chopper and Sabine,
right?
But I don't, I don't know. It's
and
you got
and
a
that's
limited amount of space,
Yep. And here those are the figures that I want. Those are the figures that I want, and I'm leaning on getting them. But when you have months like this, it's hard to like. I just don't like it, and I actually despise it when people will say something like, "Oh, this guy was going to told everybody he was going to buy this figure, and then he didn't buy it." Like, like whatever. And it's like, do you see what's going on right now? Like, I can't get everything, so I'm going to try to get those 3 from Ahsoka. We will see. And this isn't even like not only Hot Toys, but then you have in-art figures. Then you have, which we haven't talked about. We have SOOSOO Toys, which we just talked about. We have Mars Toys coming out with some really amazing figures, and Wonka should be coming out, I would assume, maybe this month to be released. So it's tough. But I like this comment. I like this comment by Valkyrie. I go with thinking that Hot Toys isn't Pokemon, which is you can't buy them all, but I definitely have tried. So
totally agree. Awesome comment. Totally agree.
Oh man.
And like you're saying, Brick, the other Wolverine, the one that came out in June, like I haven't pre-ordered that yet. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer, but I am gonna pre-order that because that looks like an awesome figure, and he's in my top 3 favorite Marvel characters, Wolverine, and that yellow and blue outfit. There's the Chewie and C-3PO that they previewed. That hasn't gone on sale yet from Empire Strikes Back. I want that. Yep. I want Jar Jar if that comes out.
Yeah, Jar Jar. You have a Predator figure that was teased. You have it's just
the Terminator. I never got that first Terminator, and selling for like what $600, $700, $800 on.
Starting to go down now though.
Yeah,
I think it's prematurely going down. I gotta wait. I mean, I get that people are trying to get rid of it, but it's not even official yet. Like we've seen things in showcases. Like, I mean, many times. Like we saw, what was it? The oh my goodness, not the Falcon, but the Vulture. We've seen that. We've seen Hawkeye. I mean, there's just been a lot of different figures that we've seen. But
wasn't that Wolverine on Sideshow and low stock?
Which one?
Which one?
The Deadpool Wolverine.
Is it low stock? Really?
I thought I saw something like a week ago, but not to do the whole.
It's really quick if it's true. But yeah, this is a really good conversation, guys. I just want like the people to know too, and there are many people in the chat that obviously have collected longer than me, have more figures, and I get that, and they're probably just more in tune with everything already, and just having a fun time listening and being able to relate to us. But I just want people to know that maybe don't know, like, don't worry about it. Take a step back, relax, get what you need, and get what you really, really love. And a lot of these figures will be around for a very long time, even after they're released. And a lot of these figures, prices will drop. You're not going to miss out. Either way, you're going to have to wait if you pre-order right the second or not. Just relax. So, all right. So enough of FOMO. We have another topic that's going to come later, but we are going to go into top or bottom, which many of you guys know is a fun little game here. We have 2 top or bottoms that I'd like to get into, and let's go ahead and get that started once I find the intro here, which I'm not prepared. Oh my goodness. Where are you? Here we go. Here we go. All right. So the first one I have here. Now, I was asking you guys a lot of questions today before the show because I'm like, I didn't think SOOSOO was gonna like come up with Supergirl or the Lady Protector. So I was afraid we really wouldn't have any topics. So I got all the stuff together. Hopefully we have enough time to talk about everything. But the first one is, speaking of Artisan, the first top or bottom is, now I think we have 9 Artisan figures. I chose 8. The only one I don't think I have on here is Imposter Joker. And I chose 8. I tried to make it kind of tough. I know for some people it's gonna be really easy just because of that Anakin there. But I feel like no matter where I put Anakin, like if people see Anakin, that's the one they're gonna choose. So, but I try to make this tough. And basically, top or bottom is you pick either the top or the bottom. It's that simple. So it's not 1 by 1. It's the whole top row or the whole bottom row. So if you choose the top, all the ones at the bottom are not going to either release or you're not going to get them ever in your whole life. Like they're gone, and vice versa. So at the top, we have here Anakin Skywalker, Loki. We have Joaquin's Joker and Black Widow. At the bottom, we have Luke Skywalker, the dark side Luke. We have our good friend here, Johnny Depp, Jack Sparrow. We have the Joker from The Dark Knight, and we have the Scarlet Witch from Endgame. I'm going to start with, we already have some answers in the chat, Collection Obsession saying top all day. But I'm gonna start with Adam here. You're gonna go top or bottom, and kind of briefly explain why you choose.
So the one we don't choose, you're saying any variation of that character it eliminates?
Just Artisan version.
Just Artisan.
Yep.
Okay. Well, it's kind of easy. In some ways, it's easy for me. I don't.
Well, and I should say the sculpted of that Artisan version. You know what I mean? Like for Scarlet Witch, we have so many Scarlet Witches, so those are still available. But her sculpted one of this specific figure would not be available.
So just so everyone knows, I don't have any of these on pre-order, either the sculpted or Artisan version. But I have other versions of these characters in my collection. I'm going to go at the top because, as much as I love Luke Skywalker, Dark Side Anakin, I love my Dark Side Anakin figure, even though this is the Artisan. That Loki I love the Loki show. That's my favorite of the MCU TV shows. And that finale was just awesome, where he holds the multiverse back together. We talked about Joker. I mean, I came close to getting it, but his performance was amazing, and that Scarlet Witch figure is just beautiful.
Yeah. So we have one top, right? Adam, you chose top.
I chose the top.
Okay. Yep. I just heard you saying Scarlet Witch is beautiful. So
I'm sorry. Black
Black Widow.
Beautiful.
Okay.
But the Black
Okay,
Widow's
okay.
They're
the Black
both
Widow's
beautiful.
as well.
They're gorgeous.
Yes, they both are.
And Geo, top or bottom, sir?
Top. Yeah, top. There's 2 characters here on the top list that are top 3 characters for me. The bottom has 1 top 3 and another one is top 10. So Anakin Skywalker, the Artisan light side, definitely. That's my
You
most
know what? I
anticipated
forgot
figure.
about Iron Spider. I should have put him up here too.
Yeah, so there's
Yeah,
10.
there's actually 10, yeah.
There's
Yep.
10, yeah.
Yeah.
But so Anakin, I think he probably is my most anticipated figure just in general, just overall of all the pre-orders that I have. Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, top 3. Joker.
Would it
and
change if I change any of you guys' thoughts if I put Iron Spider in place of Luke?
no.
Okay.
No.
Just a thought.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't have. But
Okay.
Loki, I mean he's a cool character and everything, but I was never a huge fan of Loki. So that one was kind of easy for me. I didn't pre-order him. And then of course Joker, I already talked about Joker, I don't know how many times. So I've got like every Artisan that's been up so far or pre-ordered all of those. So there's that. Black Widow, she looks amazing, she looks great and everything, but I didn't pre-order her. But
Sure.
those 2, Joker, Anakin, just on that alone, I'm choosing top. And the bottom, Luke Skywalker, this dark side Luke, he looks different, he looks cool and everything. Top 10 characters, but I'll be okay in this circumstance, in this situation. I'll be okay if I don't have him. And then Captain Jack Sparrow, the films are solid movies, but I wouldn't say like favorite character or anything like that.
Okay.
I don't have anything Pirates of the Caribbean. Maybe the DVDs when they came out, but that's about it. And then Joker, same thing. Already talked about Joker many times. And then Scarlet Witch. If I would get a Wanda, I think I would want this one. This Artisan specifically, but still not gonna go over top 3 characters which we have on the top. So that's why I chose that.
Okay. Well, I feel like a lot of people are saying top in the chat as well. However, we do have a couple people saying bottom, like X-Man Supreme, and then we have Ash saying Captain Jack for me. So it sounds like he's going bottom. Yomo with a new picture.
Oh, what the hell? I was like, who's that guy?
Saying top. Oh man.
I was
thought
like,
you were a new person,
hacked.
and then I popped you up. I saw Yomo.
Yeah, I thought he got hacked for a second.
He probably did. But I have 6 pre-ordered just on here. I also have Imposter pre-ordered as well, but 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom I have pre-ordered. Whether or not I keep all of them for myself is TBD. We will see. Now there is a figure. Yeah, there is a figure on the top that I was not able to get. I vented about that when it first happened, how bad it was, and that is Anakin. I think Anakin is the best Artisan announcement so far, and Black Widow and Scarlet Witch are kind of tied for me. I think they both look great, but I do like that Jack Sparrow. I'm excited for that, but I'm gonna go top. I'm gonna go top with you guys, and just go with my gut on that. But I will miss Jack and Scarlet Witch. We got plenty of Jokers out there, Now, we got other Lukes, but
you talked before about Iron Spider. If you're in a deal making mode, and if you swapped out Jack Sparrow for Spidey, you got my vote for the bottom.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. What if I put Iron Spidey in place of Anakin?
Oh,
and I didn't have Anakin on the list at all.
Iron Spidey.
I would go.
I go bottom.
I'll go bottom.
I think I'd go bottom too. But I don't know. There's just something about that Black Widow. She looks phenomenal. Like I think that's the best looking head sculpt other than Anakin. of all these Artisan. Loki's good too, no slouch, but that Black Widow, and it's so awesome to finally have like a really like good. Now Endgame I really like, and then I asked, actually I don't have Endgame. Jedi Night's Watch does, and I see that one all the time, but I have the Black Widow from her movie.
Oh, okay.
So that one's really good. The snowsuit one I also have from the movie. I don't like it. I have it. It's fine. But I'm just, this is the one I wanted from Iron Man 2. Really, really excited. Yeah, you almost saying I started messing with some picture filters and came across this figure filter. I love it, man. It reminds me of the Santa Claus from Santa Claus 2. Is it 2 or 3 when he's got the clones? The toy clones, you know? I like it.
Oh yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
the second.
It was the second one, right?
Yeah.
Zach saying not a fan of that version of Scarlet Witch get up. Yeah, I mean, my favorite from her is when she's got on like the high socks, the skirt. What was that? Was that Age of Ultron or Civil War? It was,
Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron. That's my favorite, but I don't know. This Scarlet Witch is going to be great.
Civil War is basically the same outfit. I have the one from
yeah.
I have the one from Civil War, and it's basically the same outfit.
Okay. So we have one more top or bottom, guys. We were all 3 top on that one. Hopefully this one is a little more diverse. And this doesn't really have anything to do, well, it kind of does, with figures. So within our community, we're all nerds. Movies are a big thing, which is why we collect, right? So I wanted to come up with 10 trilogies that I thought were the best. Now there's a few out there that I didn't put on here, like Toy Story is one, The Godfather, there's a lot of great trilogies out there. But these are the 10 that I chose. I tried to make them somewhat even, as you can kind of see. And yeah, I know that both you guys, like, it's all about the OT Star Wars.
The Holy Trilogy.
Yeah. But I try to make it a little hard, and the rules apply. I mean, and not only am I going to say best trilogies, which trilogies would you want to keep forever and lose forever? But I'm also going to say, because you lose those trilogies, you also lose any and every figure that you can think of, because the trilogies don't exist. So I think I started with Adam, the last one, right? So let me start with Gio on this one. The movie canon.
It's gonna be top.
Okay.
Top. Okay, so the Dark Knight trilogy. Loved all 3 of them. I would still contend that the Dark Knight is the best one of the 3. Terminator T2 is innovating. It's a classic. It's top, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 films of all time for me. The first Terminator, it's dated now, but it's solid. Even T3, I didn't even hate it. Like, I thought it was fine. Rise of the Machines. Star Wars original trilogy. I don't have to say much about that.
Yep.
Star Wars OT. Back to the Future. I like the movies. I'm not as much of a fan of Back to the Future as a lot of our fellow collectors, but I thought they were still good, fun movies. The third one I was not a fan of at all.
Yeah.
Captain America, I think, is of the MCU figure. I'm sorry, the MCU characters, the Avengers that have their solo films. Captain America, I think, has the best trilogy.
Okay.
Because even Iron Man, I didn't really care for Iron Man 2 and 3, and even Thor. I mean, we all know about Thor. It's like they're not. All 3 of them are not that great, because the second one is not that good. So that's why I'm sticking out to the top one here now. Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi. Also great films. I did not like Spider-Man 3. I've only seen it once when it came out in theater. Alien, first Alien, Alien 2, or I'm sorry, Aliens. Great. Did not care too much for the third one. Lord of the Rings, which is something I kind of talked to you about, Brick, before. I could acknowledge that Lord of the Rings trilogy is a cinematic achievement, but it's not really a trilogy that I find myself wanting to rewatch often, even though I understand and I recognize that is great filmmaking, Peter Jackson, and everything that they did to make these films. Indiana Jones, I think I mentioned before that I'm not a huge fan of, so I'm okay with that, with not having them. And then Guardians of the Galaxy, great James Gunn films, right? They just came out. These movies came out of nowhere. These characters came out of nowhere, and like almost immediately, they became like part of our culture, our pop culture. Like everyone knows these characters, and we didn't even know who they were. A lot of us didn't know who these characters were just 10 years ago. So great stuff there, but not more than some of the films that you have on the top.
Okay.
So that was my thought process there.
Okay. It's a good thought process. Okay. So what about you, Adam?
Well, first of all, that's why I love Gio, because him and I are in agreement in a lot of things. So I love his analysis. So let's start with the top here. The Dark Knight trilogy. In my opinion, the greatest trilogy of superhero films of all time. And the second film, The Dark Knight, the greatest comic book film of all time.
Ooh,
one of the greatest crime films of all time.
I would agree.
Of the top 10 greatest films of all time. Okay, of all time. Agree. The Terminator trilogy. First Terminator, incredible movie. Followed up by another incredible movie, Terminator 2. Third Terminator movie, not directed by James Cameron. I think it was produced by him. Mm-hmm. It's a good movie. Not a great movie, but a pretty good movie. A very good ending. Like, it showed, spoiler alert for like a 30-year-old movie, okay? But, that no matter what, they couldn't stop the apocalypse from Skynet taking over and Judgment Day. It kind of negated the second one a bit, but that's okay. Okay, now we get to the heart of that line. The Holy Trilogy, the original Star Wars trilogy. I don't think I've loved something so much in my life, other than my wife and daughter and my dogs, for longer than I've loved, my parents. Since I was 3 years old, 3 going on to 4 years old, when I first saw Star Wars: A New Hope in theater in 1977 and in 78, I just fell in love with that galaxy in far, far away. And there's nothing I love more than Star Wars and those original films. So you could put anything up against it. I just say Star Wars. The Back to the Future trilogy. Love the first Back to the Future film. I like the second and third movie. Those are good films. I don't know if I'd say it's one of the best trilogies ever, but it's the first film, one of the greatest sci-fi comedies ever.
Sure.
And the second and third are very good movies. Captain America trilogy, that might be the best, and I don't know. It's up there with Guardians of the Galaxy as one of the best Marvel MCU trilogies. And the one thing I'll just say about at least the Infinity Saga phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I don't think anything has ever made me feel like I was a kid again. Like reading those comic books when I was elementary, junior high school, and seeing the original Star Wars films. Like I felt like watching that first 3 phases of the MCU, and Deadpool and Wolverine. That made me feel that way, and Spider-Man: No Way Home made me feel that way.
I almost put Deadpool on here over one of these, just because
the
it's
first
new and
Deadpool,
hot, like the trilogy as a trilogy. I almost put that up here, but
too soon. You got to give it some hindsight to see how it gels. But yeah, I think maybe in a couple of years you might be able to put that up there. So now the bottom row, Spider-Man trilogy. I love those first 2 Spider-Man movies, and particularly I love the first one. That first one came out right after 9/11, and I remember just the end of that film with the American flag, and how you guys probably remember the sucker punch we felt after 9/11 and how honestly, some ways depressing it was, and that uplift of seeing Spider-Man there and Spider-Man 2, amazing film. Spider-Man 3, I'm with Gio. You know, I didn't hate the film, but I think I may have seen it twice. It's not one of my favorites. Alien trilogy. Okay. First Alien, an amazing sci-fi horror film, one of the greatest of all time. Aliens, James Cameron directed. It's a World War II film with aliens. I love that film. It's like the second or third R-rated movie I went to go see in the movie theater. Love that movie. Alien 3, directed by the great David Fincher, went on to make a number of amazing films. That third film was not an amazing film. And I don't think I've ever left a theater so angry. So angry after seeing that. Like in the first 5 minutes, you tell me they kill Newt and Hicks and Bishop, and the characters that was the whole reason for the end of Aliens. They kill them off in the third film. Shame on them. Shame on them 35 years later. I'm still angry at that. Okay, Lord of the Rings. Love those films when I saw them in the theater. I like Gio, I haven't seen them as much, but every couple of years I rewatch them. I think they are as Gio said, an amazing feat in movie making. Indiana Jones trilogy, love Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom. I've grown to like more and more through the years, and Last Crusade. Love those films. And then again, Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that's up there among the top tier in Marvel trilogies. Yeah. So, having said all that, top. It's got to be top because of Star Wars, but also because of Dark Knight and Cap. So those three alone, phenomenal.
Toy Story.
Definitely easy for you guys, but I'm actually going to go with bottom.
What?
And it's pretty easy for me to say bottom.
Spider-Man.
Now, not even just Spider-Man, but I'm going to say this right now. I've never seen Indiana Jones.
Oh, that's right.
That's the only thing that would keep me away from the bottom, because I haven't seen it. So this might be unfair to say the bottom, but I'm going to stick with bottom. Now, I'm going to make this quick because we got a couple other things to talk about figure-wise, but the Dark Knight trilogy, phenomenal. You got Terminator. The first two were great. T2 was like, sci-fi and technology-wise, just boom, like out of nowhere. Star Wars, ahead of its time there. Great trilogy. Not the biggest fan of A New Hope. Okay, I'm going to get that out there. It was fine. Luke Skywalker whined too much. It's kind of annoying to watch nowadays, but I get it. It's nostalgic. It starts off something amazing, and I think the second and third film are 10 out of 10s, so I'll say that. Back to the Future never...
Tashi station to get some power converters.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. Wow. Yeah, they talk about how Anakin is whiny. Like Luke started off a little whiny too. So Back to the Future is good. I think it's somewhat overrated. It's good. It's like a solid B to me, and it's fun to watch every now and then, and I get it. Captain America, didn't like the first Cap movie. Thought Civil War was rushed. It should have been a 2-part film, and bothered me on a lot of those aspects. The second movie, Winter Soldier, probably one of the best Marvel movies, but like I had my issues with the first and third one. As fun as the third one was, it was rushed.
I love Civil War.
I do too.
I'm sorry. Spider-Man, some of you might say Dark Knight is the best comic book movie, superhero movie. I think Spider-Man 2 could be argued with that. I think a lot of people's list Spider-Man 2 is. A lot of people's list Dark Knight is. You can go back and forth.
It was before the Dark Knight came out.
I'd agree with that.
You know what? Like, I'm fine with that. Because I love Dark Knight. I'm not going to say I don't. Like that. They're both really, as a trilogy, Dark Knight's probably a better trilogy as a whole. But the first and second Spider-Man movies hold way too much like love for me. And as a child and how I got into what I've gotten in like comic books, I think I was like 10 or 11 years old when I was 11 when Spider-Man came out, and I was 12. I don't know. but I was young, and it changed my life for like comic books. Alien, one of the coolest, not the best, but the coolest horror films because it's in space. I love the whole like in space, no one hears you scream. Like very, very cool. And Aliens was even better. They made it like action packed. Loved it. Lord of the Rings trilogy, the GOAT. The GOAT. I will say it. It's the GOAT. Lord of the Rings, whether it's storytelling, characters, the score. I love my sci-fi, which is why I like Aliens, which is why I like Star Wars and all that, and Terminator. But Lord of the Rings, I'm just more of a fantasy guy. Like I love my Lord of the Rings. I like my, Wheel of Time and Name of the Wind and Game of Thrones. Like I love fantasy. And Guardians of the Galaxy, the best trilogy in the MCU by far. So I got to go bottom. Got to do it. And that's why I have hope for James Gunn with DC.
Yeah.
Because he made the best trilogy in the MCU, in my opinion.
That speech in Lord of the Rings, that gets me every time, where Sam is telling Frodo about the stories we tell, and that tears me up every time I hear that, man. It just gets me going. Such a
Yeah, man. Time to watch. I know, man. I really want to. I've sat down and I started the first one, and it was fun. But then I turned it off. So I've seen like the first half, and it was good. It's just I feel like when you haven't seen older films before, you have to like be in the mood to watch an older film almost if you've never seen it before and you don't have like today I watched Jaws. I've seen the movie like 30 times, but like I watched it today for the first time in a while, and it's you have fun. I have so much fun with Jaws. Like I don't know, there's something about that small town 4th of July, shark attack. Like it's just that's great storytelling and something so what they can do with something so small. And then we're looking at these, like you have superheroes, you have space wars and Gandalf the gray and Gandalf the white and hobbits and stuff, but then you have a shark attack and how that can hold up to these films. Like like it's good. It's a good movie. Yeah, I need to watch more classics like Indiana Jones. I really do. But yeah, they just wanted to talk about some movies since we got the movie canon on one Adam 12 as well, who's a big movie guy. So always try to get some movie stuff on with them here. So now we're gonna do one quick segment for Adam because he's never been on the show, and that is the World of Psychic. After the World of Psychic, we are going to do our outros a little differently, and I'll explain that when we get to that point. But basically, we have a figure that we are going to talk about in our collection as we kind of say our goodbyes. But before that, we have the World of Psychic. All right. So the World of Psychic, Adam, if you have not been here before, people in the chat, if you guys have not seen this segment yet, the World of Psychic comes from Ghostbusters 2, beginning of the film, when they have like the psychic thing and they're kind of predicting the end of time and whatnot. I'm here to let everybody kind of predict what's coming next, what hasn't been announced yet. Okay. What hasn't been released. It could be anything. Okay. It can't be like, I think that, a figure that's supposed to be released this year is going to be released this year. No, try to say like by this week or by this month or, or like a figure that you think will be announced soon, an Artisan figure, for example. So the cool thing about this is everybody who's been right this year will get into a pot and have a chance to win something. What that something is, no idea. Haven't figured it out yet. But it's a fun game to play too and kind of makes you feel cool if you're right. So one Adam 12. Within this year, what is going to occur in the 1/6 community.
Okay, wait, hold on. I've seen a vision. In the year 2024, Hot Toys will produce Bespin Han Solo.
Ooh, okay.
Artisan?
Is it Artisan? It's okay if you're wrong on this.
Artisan and sculpted.
Artisan and sculpted. An Artisan Han Solo.
As my grandparents once said, from my mouth to God's ears.
That's a good one. I could actually kind of see that happening, even though we have a Han Solo that's been announced this year already. Like Hot Toys is crazy, and we don't have an Artisan Luke yet. So, and we need more
Just had 2
Star Wars.
Wolverines.
Yeah, 2 Wolverines. We've had multiple Lukes at a time. So, I could see it. We have X-Man saying Artisan X-23. I could definitely see an X-23. I don't know about Artisan, but that'd be cool. Artisan Henry Cavill. That would be sweet. Would it be Superman or another character? Yeah, Artisan Darkseid Anakin says Redeemer 23. I can definitely see that. That is like the almost. That is the almost like one I'm most positive on that will get announced this year. If that's one, like if it's not announced this year, I'm more shocked. Like even if it's next year, like it's coming at some point, but if it's not this year, I'll be shocked. But yeah, X-Man saying Brick Artemis X-23, if they make her, will be Artisan. It's just my luck. Zach Davenport saying, yeah, they want to sell those goofy looking Han sculpts, then sell the good ones. Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna do stuff a little weird, a little different, maybe not weird, just different, where we are going to be talking about what means the most. Okay, so what means the most? So I asked the panel their favorite figure, what figure in their collection means the most to them, what figure they love the most, and they both gave me answers. And I want them to talk a little bit about it, and maybe toward the end of when you talk about it, just kind of say, where we can find you, what's going on in your channel as well. But this is like your exit party. I have one as well that I will talk about, and maybe just spend a few minutes. It is getting kind of late, but 3 to 6 minutes or something. It doesn't have to be a 20-minute spiel, or definitely give us more than a minute. But I want to kind of like get really in depth with this character for a few minutes here, and I am going to start with whichever one pops up here, and that is going to be one Adam 12's. What means the most? His favorite figure in his collection is Luke Skywalker from The Mandalorian. Take it away.
Well, first of all, again, thank you for having me on the show. We've been streamed many times before, so I had a lot of fun tonight. Awesome show, and we're always chatting over Instagram about the different releases and our thoughts and different things. So great being here. The Mandalorian Deluxe Luke Skywalker. This was the first Hot Toys figure that I ever bought. Got this last summer at the Fan Expo in Boston. Now I've been, so like I said, I was collector all my life. The 3 3/4-inch Star Wars figures and Marvel and DC figures, Batman, Spider-Man, and then I graduated to the Legends and Black Series. So I've been looking at Hot Toys for a while and doing my homework, and I saw this figure last summer. We took a vacation went to Cape Cod and went to Boston, and we went to this Fan Expo, which is like the Boston Comic Con. It was me, my wife, and my daughter. And besides being my first Hot Toys figure, it was like just a special time with my family, and my daughter cosplayed as Negan, like a female of Negan from The Walking Dead.
That's
she
cool.
Playing, and if you follow my channel 1M12, we do, like, my daughter and I do unboxings together. She'll film it and provide commentary as I'm doing the unboxing, and it just, she's kind of like a 2.0 version of me. She's not necessarily into all the same stuff I'm into. Like, she's into Minecraft and some fan fiction stuff. But it was like I started this channel and started streaming just as like a bonding experience for her and I. And then of course I've been a lifelong geek. And Star Wars, as I articulated a few minutes ago, has just been I've always loved Star Wars and Luke Skywalker, just as a sculpt, it's not necessarily my favorite sculpt. There's other figures that I like more in terms of physically how they look, but it's a special. This figure's got a special place in my heart because Luke Skywalker is one of my favorite characters, and Star Wars is my favorite IP, my favorite franchise. So when I see this figure and it's right to the left of me, off camera here, it reminds me of that awesome convention that my family and I went to, and
Yeah.
special times I have with my daughter, and also my wife when we got married. My wife, she knew what she was getting when she married me, and when we did our wedding party intro, we had the throne music from A New Hope play, and so it was she God love her, she had a lot of patience with me, so that's kind of what this reminds me of.
Yeah.
And why it means a lot to me.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for sharing that story. Thank you for being here, and hopefully we can get you back on the Bugle 6 sometime soon. I think that's great. I think it's awesome to kind of hear what a toy, how a toy can mean so much to a collector, to a family, and so that's a really, really cool story. So thank you for sharing that. Gio, the Movie Canon, you, my good sir, are next, and you chose Neo from the Matrix.
Yep, Neo from the Matrix. And Adam, I did the Mando Luke was my first pre-order hot toy figure.
Wow.
So the Matrix, I think a lot of you guys know, at least who have been watching sometimes here and then my channel, that the Matrix, the first one, is my favorite film of all time. It's not my favorite trilogy, but it's my favorite film, individual film. And when I saw that movie in the theater the first time, I was blown away. I wasn't expecting much from this movie. The marketing of that movie was like very interesting because they didn't show that much. The main thing about the marketing of that movie was like, what is the Matrix? That's kind of how like everyone got everyone to go see that movie because they want to know, well, what is the Matrix? What is that? And then you saw that one scene, with Neo with the dodging the bullets and stuff like that, and then they're like, what the hell is that? It's like, what's going on with that? And then I saw the movie, that Trinity kick at the opening scene with Agent Smith and the other agents, and I was like, what the hell am I watching here? And I was like, and I absolutely love the movie. It has great direction, great characters, great story, visual effects. It had basically everything that I would have wanted in a film. So of course, when I found out that there's a Neo Hot Toys figure and I saw pictures and I was like, that looks so awesome. But then I saw the price and I was like, oh yeah, no. And then I went to there's a bar near me in Orange County, California, that has, it's kind of like a pop culture movie themed bar and stuff like that. And they actually have Hot Toys there. And they have a display of Hot Toys in that bar. And
cool.
Then that was the first time that I saw the Neo figure in person. And they had him displayed to, like, the figure comes with the base from the lobby scene, and he's kind of like just like doing his kicks, and he has the guns like this or whatever. So they have him displayed like that, and I was like, that looks so awesome. But then again, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to pay that for this Hot Toy figure. And then when I actually got into Hot Toys, collecting And I was like, okay, let's see what's going on with that Neo figure. What's the situation there? Because obviously I didn't see it on Sideshow, right? So I didn't know how things worked out really when it comes to the figures, you know, that they would sell out and stuff like that and waitlisted or whatever. So I didn't know anything about that, and I didn't find it anywhere. And then I was like, then that's when I pre-ordered that Mando Luke and stuff like that. But I was like, I have to try to find this figure, but everywhere that I was looking at it, they were like $600, $800 for this Neo.
Wow.
And then I was like, okay, I'm definitely not gonna pay that. But then I just kind of like, that was the first figure that I actually hunted and actually invested time and effort to try to get this figure, because like I need to have it. It's my top film ever, and the figure looks amazing. So I actually did find it eventually. You know, I eventually did find it, and then I got it. You know, for a decent price, but still, I have him now, and I'm just waiting for. I don't know if Hot Toys is going to do this, but I did hear that maybe NR might actually be doing some Matrix figures. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Hopefully, they announce some stuff this year, but I just want more of this first film. Like I would think that they would have maybe like a Trinity, at least to kind of go with the base that they did for this one, for that lobby scene, where not both of them are in that scene. Maybe they can do like a little a connector, kind of like InArt is doing with the Harry Potter characters. Like they kind of connect with the bases.
They all connect.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously they didn't set that up because that's not even, they didn't even manufacture it that way anyway. But maybe InArt would do that. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, so this movie means a lot to me, like I said. So obviously this figure does. So he's the only figure that's actually like in a case by himself. Wow. So that's why he's kind of like there.
Nice.
But the base is kind of big, so it's kind of like hard to display him because it's pretty massive. But yeah, so that's why it's my favorite one here. But as far as you know, stuff in my channel and stuff like that. So on Saturday, I'm doing my 50th episode of the Met Report, my movie show. And I'm going to do a bunch of giveaways. I do a lot of like Funko giveaways on the Met Reports. So I'll be giving out like 3, those big ones, those movie moments, Funko giveaways and stuff.
Oh, those are cool. I like those.
Yeah. So I'll be doing those on Saturday. I'm going to do like a 2024 fall movie preview, which I like to do like every quarter, just to tell you what's coming out, you know, in the season. And, you know, I just talk about that, and I do all those giveaways there. And then of course, Figures Talk on Sunday. Hopefully we have some announcements, some cool Artisan announcements that we can pre-order.
Here we're talking about FOMO, and we're like, hopefully we have a bunch this month too. Let's go.
And we get a little bit more of that FOMO this week again, and maybe some releases. Hopefully they release that Vader from Return of the Jedi, because that's on my list. I don't have a Darth Vader yet, so I'm hoping they announce that this week. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for now. But again, Brick, thank you so much for having me on your show. It's always a lot of fun. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you guys for such a great topic that we were able to talk about, and FOMO, and making that a lot of fun, and again sharing why these figures mean a lot to you. Definitely love having you guys on here. I want to go ahead and talk about my figure as we get ready to go, but let's go ahead and pop that up. And for me, it's RoboCop. Oh. Now, this is a little different than, you know, like it's RoboCop. Like, how could this mean a lot to me? You know, it's not my favorite movie. It's a good movie. I love the movie, but it's more of what it means to me. So RoboCop, when I was a kid, was probably, from what I can remember, the first rated R movie I've ever seen. And I mean to say, I was like 3-4 years old when I was watching this movie. And that sounds really bad.
Right.
I'll buy that for $1.
I turned out fine. I just remember it being on in the background. I remember always asking my mom to turn it on. It wasn't like my dad sitting down and watching it. However, it has a lot to do with my dad. And, you know, my dad was always busy. And that's fine. Work was like a big thing for him. He was in the Army. He was a retired colonel. Like this, you know, he worked a lot. But something that we had in common was RoboCop. And, you know, he was a military police for the Army. So he had a shirt that said RoboPop instead of RoboCop that I got him for Father's Day. I had back then, they really pushed rated R movie toys on kids, such as RoboCop. And I had a RoboCop probably the size of this one here that I have that you can't really see because I just did a review on the mono shelf. But probably about that size. You could like push a button. And one of the things that it would say is drop it, drop it, drop it. And in the middle of the night, it started going off and it woke me up and it kept saying, drop it, drop it, drop it. And it kept me up. And finally I walked down the hall, out of my room, down the hall. And I'm 99% sure that I walked in on something and with my parents to get, you know, whatever. TMI, I know. But it's just a funny story because it just kept saying, drop it, drop it, drop it. Like, you know, just drop what you're doing, drop it. And it was just a lot of fun. It's a funny story. You had to be there. No, you didn't. You don't want to be there. But it was, but thinking back, it's just that story. So there's a lot of things like with my dad fixed it, whatever. And I remember seeing like I think my first ever movie was either one of the Ninja Turtle movies or Hocus Pocus that I saw in theaters. It was one of those two movies. I'm not sure which one, but it was one of those two. But I also remember seeing RoboCop 3 in my early days, and my dad being there. And I only really remember the beginning, but I also remember like the jetpack scene. So everyone's like, oh, I wish it was from the first RoboCop. Well, I like the first RoboCop. I don't really like the third RoboCop, but I have that story. Seeing it with my family at the movie theater, just being a little kid, growing up with the cartoon that came out too. A lot of people seem to forget that, and being able to get this toy to match that figure that I have that comedic, funny, stupid memory with, you know, and sitting in Korea, mind you, in South Korea, watching these movies with my family, and just a good time. So, and not only that, but when I got this figure, my dad was home, or my dad was here, and he was visiting, and it just so happened that I received it a night that he was here, and I was able to open it up with him around. So it's a lot of that. Nice. So, you know, having a dad that's always busy and you don't really get a lot of those nights together, but then when you do, he's there at that moment when I get this figure. So yeah, just really, really cool figure. It means a lot to me.
Great story.
Thank you. Nice. Thank you. We got a couple new people that came in. We're about to end it, but just wanted to say hello to Nick Bachman and to Thron's office. Hello,
Mike.
welcome. Hopefully you guys can catch the.
How you doing, Mike?
Yeah, Mike Literis. Hopefully you guys can catch the full replay either tonight or tomorrow, sometime this week. We had a lot of good conversations about FOMO and figures that mean a lot to us. And we have Clinton Martin. Howdy, folks. What is up, man? How's it going?
Hey,
good to see you here. And yeah, X-Man Supreme says South Korea is so much fun. You know, I don't know if you're being sarcastic. I don't know, but like I get it if you are, but I was like 4 years old when I lived there, and I have a Spider-Man coffee cup from there. Like, you know, like so like downtown they have like all these tiny little shops. I still have this Spider-Man coffee cup. I have this Mickey Mouse blanket. Like I keep random stuff, but fond memories, really, really good memories. So, but yeah, thank you guys for being here on the panel. Had a very, very fun show. I would say this is probably one of my favorite shows that I've been a part of. I had a lot of good. I felt like it got real. We talked about Supergirl. We talked about FOMO. It was just a lot of fun. We were able to talk about movies a little bit, and we had a lot of fun in the chat. People were active in the chat. Just a lot of fun. And I said something in the chat too, like not to get too emotional after talking about like memories and stuff, but you know, this community, as we talk about what means the most, this community is amazing. You know, we grow up, and yeah, we might have a couple friends here and there that we can relate to, that watch, you know, really nerdy stuff with, and read a comic book with, or be able to talk about, maybe you're into anime and you talk about anime or video games. But as you get older, it gets a little harder. And especially in like real life. And yeah, you know, everybody kind of sees the new Marvel movie, and we kind of talk about that. But to this degree, you know, and going to the comic book store, or you know, doing marathons on the weekend and all that, it's a little different than most. And you almost think that you're kind of a lone wolf, and then you're able to really, in this community, find people that can relate to you and connect, not just relate, but connect with you. And pretty much everybody in the chat that I've seen tonight, I talk to, if not daily, for sure weekly. And you guys on the panel, I talk to a lot. It's like my community family, you know, and it's just, I actually cherish that more than I do the figures. And that's not to say that I'm not a collector and I don't put the figures first and all that BS. It's just to say, like, the people that I've met, you know, like people that we've been seeing in the panel, it's just, it's something that I don't think you see in a lot of places. It kind of reminds me of when I was a teenager and you had to be kind of cool at school. But then when you went home, you turn on Xbox Live and all the true nerdy kids from school that were cool were on live, and you guys are like, hey, on your left, you know, like it kind of was like a whole new community. And I just want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart that reach out to me about Supergirl and know me, that reach out to me about Spider-Man figures that are announced, and offer me, hey, if you can't get this figure, like, let me know and I'll hold it for you. You can have this one. And you know, I try to do the same for you guys as well, if I don't need that figure. But that's what it's all about. That's what collecting to me is truly about too, is to share it. And with a community like this, there's no better way to share it. So thank you guys, to the panel, to the chat, to everybody watching on the replay, to everybody who doesn't even watch the show, who will never hear this, but I talk to, and who collects. You know, thank you for making the community great. So that being said, until next time, keep bricking.